co-owner of CQ Nightclub, Philip Alexiou, and I'm just super grateful to have him on the call tonight. I see the way this guy moves on Instagram, and the time that we even got to meet up at a party, just seeing kind of how passionate he was about what he does was a true honor. So Philip, thanks for helping on this call, man.
So I appreciate you having me, bro.
Awesome, man. Sweet. So, Philip, can you just give the viewers just kind of a small kind of introduction to who you are and what you're dealing with at the moment?
Yeah, so I'm Philip, I'm 21. I'm just out from the west of Melbourne, and essentially I'm just into the nightclub industry. So I've been in it for about 3 years now, give or take a couple months. And then I've always been someone that always wants to take on an extra step. So I'm also just working on some side projects as well, which we'll probably get into a bit later. Other than that, I've always had a passion to give back, I guess. So all my values, I guess, come from that foundations of wanting to give back and help people. So everything I do, it's for a reason to give back. So the reason why I love doing nightclubs is because it gives people an escape. Like, they come on a Saturday night and they can let loose, you know what I mean? They don't have to worry about the reality. It's just let's get inside and let's just have a ball. And then even with what I study at uni, essentially it comes back to what I was saying. Like, I want to give back. So initially I went and did a physiotherapy degree. About a year and a half left of it, I decided it was not for me anymore. So I did end up finishing it, but unfortunately it's not the area I want to go into anymore. So what I plan on doing is going to paramedics. Was planning to do it next year. However, with this coronavirus thing that is currently going on, it's cancelled my Europe trip this year. So I will be going next year and then delaying uni to the year following. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. What else did you like to know?
Incredible, man. So I think I didn't even know that you actually made that switch, to go to a kind of a totally different area after you graduated. So how did you kind of, emotionally cope with that massive change? Because, investing, 2 to 3 or 4 years into a course and then making that switch, it takes guts, one, but it also takes, a result of pain. So how did you kind of, make that decision, even though it was difficult?
Yeah. So closer, like I said, towards the end of my initial first degree, I just thought the idea of a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, it wasn't going to sit with me, especially after experiencing, like, to be honest with you, the money from clubs and I can work on my own schedule, essentially. Like, it's meeting up with people when I feel like it's a good time or when they can fit it in. And then it's Saturday night, for me, that flexibility of being able to work on my own terms, and the outcome from it just sat with me, and I loved how it was different. It was networking with new people every week. It was, flourishing existing relationships. So for me, it was something that I enjoyed, like, thoroughly. So that's where I made that switch to paramedicine, where I'm planning to go into that next year. It's a 4-day on, 4-day off working roster, I should say. For me, that can work perfectly with side hustles that I want to do. You know what I mean? So with that as well, it provides and brings something different every single day. It's not the same mundane procedures. Go in there, open the office, look at the clients for today. It's, you're always on your toes. You don't know what to expect. You could be attending a car accident, someone with cardiac arrest, someone with a fever. You just don't know. It's something different every day. And back to what I was saying at the start, it's the foundations of giving back to the people. So for me, I just love it, like, helping people. It's for me, that's what not turns me on, but I just love it. Like, I just get a good, like, it's just, you just feel so grateful and just powerful that you can change someone or touch someone's life like that. For me, like, I think that's personally where that decision came into play. So
that's awesome, man. And it seems to make you feel alive as well. So, like, when it comes to, that that kind of basis in your mind where it's like, you know, if it's giving back, then I'm all about it? When did that come about? Was that something that you've had, you know, since you were like, you know, really young, or was it like a twitch when you were like in early high school? What were you kind of like in the developmental years, developing that mindset to give and give?
Yeah. So all right. So let's take it back a couple years. So obviously finished year 12, and it probably came to me probably in grade year 10, I'd say, where I decided to give back. I took on peer mentor and leadership roles at my high school, and then I was like a fat kid, yeah. So like I was never, I wouldn't say I was not popular, but I wouldn't say I was popular. Like I was probably in that middle class field, right?
Middle class
So
club.
yeah, for me it was more just like making others feel like they want to feel like wanted as well. And I
Mm,
guess that's where it began. Like me being a fat kid, obviously, like you deal with some bullshit at school. It is what it is. But you get on with it. It sort of built my resilience and my thick skin. So I can say like I wouldn't have changed a thing because it's crafted the person I am today.
mm,
In saying that, like I just from year 10 onwards, it just that's where I was like, always want to give back. For me, my one passion in life is to give back, and I would be happy to die tomorrow if could do one thing, and that one thing would be to fund my mum and dad's retirement, and that's where the foundations come for me doing what I do. Why I want to do all these side hustles, why I don't like the 9 to 5 job, the rat race, you know, why I want to live on my own terms. Because at the end of the day, we only get one mum and dad,
yep.
and once they're gone, they're gone. Like one day you're gonna have one last phone call ever from your mum, and you're not gonna know it. So for me, that's where that all started, I guess. It just, you know, and having a job at McDonald's from a young age. As soon as I was 14 and 11 months, I got my first job at McDonald's.
Wow.
And dealing with customers and all that, it helped with communication skills and everything. Like it was, how can I put it? Like I was able to use my communication as a weapon, but to like diffuse situations, I guess. Like when you get an angry customer, I was able to deal with them and make a situation that could potentially have been worse, better, much quicker. So for me, like I've always loved that side of things. So yeah, that's where that comes from.
Awesome, man. And speaking even back to the fact that you started working at a reasonably young age, what was some of the most notorious experiences that you had being 15, you know, dealing with, you know, Macca's customers? Because everyone that works in, you know, fast food and hospitality knows how crazy, I guess is the nice way to say it, things can get. What's like the craziest memory that you have from working in there?
Oh man, I got a lot. Probably when I
Best
become a
one.
manager, if I'm honestly. So when I became a manager, this is the one story that always sticks out. I had a lady that was sitting in my drive-through, and you know how some customers decide, like you go to park them, and they go, "I'm not going to the waiting bay." This lady went to the waiting bay because there was an issue. So she ordered a coffee. I can't even remember. Just to say it's a latte.
Hmm.
Um, and I told her to go in the waiting bay because we're having issues with the calibration of the machine. So obviously, being a manager, like not 15-year-old crew don't know what they're doing. Let's be honest, they don't know how to calibrate a coffee machine, but we get trained to do that, so we know how to do that stuff. So being the manager, I told her to go to the waiting bay, and that as soon as I can fix the machine, I'll get the coffee up. If she's not happy to wait, I'll get you a refund. Literally, not even 2 minutes later, she comes storming into the store, and she's demanding her coffee, and she's complaining why it's taking so long. And there comes a point where you just can't take it anymore and you sort of just let it all out. And instead of me like letting it out in the sense of swearing at her and all that, I sort of did it professionally, but in a sense that it showed I'm in control here. Like you're not going to tell me what to do. So basically, I look, it might come across as rude to some people viewing this, but
Just
for
say it,
me,
bro.
what I did, bro, I told her, I'm straight up. I go, number one, you're coming in here, so I'm having to explain it to you. Number two, I have to also fix the machine. Number three, I've got other customers waiting for their orders. So number four, if you think you can do my job better than me, here's my name badge. Go in the kitchen and do it yourself. And she's sort of just the shock on her face from someone talking to her, because no one expects McDonald's workers to talk back to customers. We're taught to just we're trained to just say yes. Yeah. Essentially, it's just, if they want something, just give it to them. Just say yes. Yeah. So for someone to talk back to her like that, she was sort of just in like a state of shock. And I think that really showed that, you can control a negative situation to come out in your favor. And it did. And for that, like it just shows that these people need to have a bit more respect for everyone. And that's where it comes back again. I want to give back, because whenever I see people being treated poorly, like it kills me, man. Like I don't know how people can how people can do that to other people.
Yeah, nah, man, that's really cool that you were able to literally in the middle of your adolescence kind of develop your maturity so quickly where you're able to think out of the box to resolve a problem. Because, bro, like the average 15-year-old, the average adult even, like if that happened enough times, they would just let it all out and yell and scream or cry. I mean, how often in especially fast food places do you see one person like crying, on staff in the corner, like, yeah. And I'm sure you witnessed that as the manager as well. So like with kind of that early experience and you kind of, like you said, being, that fat kid in high school, how were you able to come from that mind frame of, I need to help people, I kind of need to show them that, they can feel noticed and loved, because you didn't maybe get that feeling back to you. How were you able to be like, okay, I want to get from A to Z. I'm going to develop myself, into such a way where I can actually achieve these big things and pull people up? Like, where was the turning point from being that fat kid to that person who you are now?
Jeez, okay. So initially probably started with a bit of a health scare at 16, right? So I was 96 kilos as a 16-year-old kid. Now I'm not tall either. I'm only like 175 centimeters. But to be 96 kilos at 16 years old was, for me, I didn't want to see 100 on the scale. So that's where I guess that health scare came in. It was, I need to change my life. And then I did, like I started, going gym and dieting and all that stuff. Just not doing any research, though, just literally listening to people saying, do a low carb diet, just go to the gym and run. Like, don't lift weights, just go to the gym and run. So it was just that for maybe 2 years. Got down to 68 kilos.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
That's scary, man. Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy. 30 kilos, I think I lost roughly, which was just insane achievement in itself. And for me to see that I could do something like that, I was like, what else is stopping me? Like if I can achieve that, then what is saying I can't achieve, something else? So yeah, then that's pretty much where that came from. Yeah, is that total mind switch of, okay, now it's time to switch on. Like, this is where I need to, this is where I need to pick up and really push myself and get to that level that I've always wanted to get to.
That's really inspiring, man. That's really, really inspiring. Like it's like you created an algorithm in your mind where you're like, okay, if I can achieve this level of success, then I can just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. So after you made that mental jump, what's the story of you actually getting all the way to co-owner of CQ? How did you kind of grow your network to that point where you were able to bridge the gap?
Yeah, okay, so the whole clubbing industry thing started about 3 years ago, like I said. And that started with promoting. So I was promoter for a club called Pony at La Di Da. Probably one of my favorite club ever. Like, hands down, just the best club I ever went to. I went there so many times during year 12 that it just was not funny. Like, it was and then obviously being a regular there, they noticed that, and they offered me to be a promoter. So I was essentially working for $5 a guest list. And I was doing great numbers, I guess. I had potential there. And then maybe I think it was when I was 19, I got one of my best mates, Dario, got offered by a bartender from the boys that did Silk Saturdays, to do a club at Fabrique. And we did that with 5 other people, I believe, off the top of my head. And we called that was Club Malibu. So that was the first ever club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, correct. So Club Malibu, we ran that for 11 months. It was just monthly events. It wasn't anything crazy. Our first foot in the door, we did pretty good numbers considering we were just a bunch of 19-year-old kids that had no clue what we were doing. like literally no clue what we were doing. And then I guess that sort of put the foot in the door. Then I went and did Sky House at Club 23. And then obviously they shut to do renovations. So that obviously came to an end. Then I moved on to Miss Collins for Fat Fridays. And then sort of got known as Fat Phil. Yeah, funny. The name's kind of, iconic.
Wow.
But it just went so well with the brand. And then from there just grew and then got offered partnership, I guess, for CQ Saturdays. And here we are today, like just through those like experiences, those different clubs, like I just always would go out and like network with people that were there, that during the week I would hit people up, be like, come down this week, I'll look after you. Whatever you need, I'll sort it out. And that's how the networking started, I guess. You meet one person, they introduce you to their friend, and their friend introduces you to them, and the list goes on. And then from there, I guess, CQ Saturdays, that's where I'm at now. Best club in Australia, to be honest with you. It's huge right now. Like, well, not right now. Obviously, we got Corona, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just huge. It's probably the biggest club in Melbourne. That would not surprise me. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited with how quickly that came about, to be honest with you. But it's all come with hard work as well. Like, it hasn't just been a walk in the park. It's headaches. Like, dealing with people, if anyone that's been in hospitality and deals with people knows that people are just headaches. Like, they'll tell you one thing and then they'll do another thing. It's like, you cannot rely on a lot of people sometimes. But it is what it is. And then obviously once CQ started to sell itself, I started taking on other ventures. So I'm now doing an apparel company that I'm launching, or have launched, but we'll have products soon. Just waiting on products from China to come in. And yeah, like I've always been someone to just want to go for everything. I'm now investing as well. So the stock market crash has actually been really good because I've invested a lot of money into a few different companies and I've already made money on them. So, I can't complain. Like that's been a good thing. Like I've always been, even during this isolation, I've always been someone to constantly improve myself. Like I don't like being sedentary, if that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. And again, that's, I think, a testament to your mindset, because after you were able to have a couple of successes now, even in the toughest times in world history, you've already overcome some really difficult things earlier. So you're like, you know what, there's opportunities here, and you're taking them, which is excellent. And you really honed in on something which is really important, and something which I think I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs talk about, which is the power of networking. So a lot of people tend to, feel like networking can be really difficult. So what are some of the tactics that you were able, not even tactics, some of the skills that you were able to develop to actually, grow your network so rapidly?
Yeah. Okay. The three things that I always consider when I'm talking to a person is what's their name, why they're here, and who'd they come with. So it's three things I always look at. So I always ask, if I go up to someone, I'm like, hey, how are you? What's your name? John. Oh yeah, John. Like, who'd you come here with, or what brings you here? Oh, Jacinta brought me here. Oh yeah, Jacinta. Oh yeah. So like, have you been here before? Do you enjoy it? Like, what area? What do you do for work? Like, you always want to ask these questions. Like, if you put it this way, the worst people to talk to are the people that always shut you down. Think about it. If you're at a restaurant, if you're talking to someone and they're telling you, oh, I went to a restaurant, and you're asking them, oh yeah, what'd you have? The conversation's flowing, right? But if that person if you're telling someone, oh, I went to a restaurant, and they go, no, you're not, and they're shutting down the conversation straight away, you're not going to be able to have a flowing conversation. So what I'm trying to say is always make sure you're asking open-ended questions with these people, because you want to try learn as much information about them in a small time, to see if, and then grab a way to contact them. So my go-to is Instagram or Facebook. Contact number, I don't really like deal with phone numbers, to be honest with you. If I'm honest, because with Instagram, if you go to someone's Instagram, you can literally see everything. Like, people put everything in their bio these days, what they're doing, what they do for work, if they're a director of a marketing firm, for example. Yeah, like everyone has all their they all want to, essentially Instagram's a resume like these days. Like people just want to put things in their bio so that it looks cool. Then they look important. So if you can, that's why I go to Instagram, because you can also look at their feed and see what they excel in and what they like to do and their hobbies. So like, for example, I'm a sponsored athlete by AHP lads as well. And that for me is huge, because now I've got networks in not only the nightclub industry, but also the fitness industry. So I've met, athletes like Tia Christophe and all them, and now I'm great friends with them. Right. So for me, I can use that as an advantage further down the track. Like these people have huge reach, and for you to know them is it's so essential for your business if you were to venture out. And think about it, one post by them can reach 20, 30, 40,000 people. One post by me with only 2,700 followers or whatever it is can reach, let's be real, like 1,600 people, 2,000 people. It's so that's why I've always considered those three things when I am talking to a person. It's always, what's your name? What brought you here? And what do you do for work?
That's killer advice, man. That's really, really killer advice. And you simplified it as well to three simple steps. I think a lot of people think they have to know exactly what to say or they have to come across a certain way. But I'm sure with your deep experience with people on a weekly basis, you probably can just see that people just want to be able to relate to each other on a very simple level.
People,
No,
people
go ahead.
want to, they want to feel important. So if for example, you're listening to me now because, and this makes me feel good, let's just say, because you're listening to my story. People want to know, people don't care about other people. Let's be real. No one cares about you. Like they just care about themselves. So if someone is telling themselves, let me rephrase that. If someone is telling you a story about themselves, for them, that is so important. It's what you have to want to make them feel like you care so much about them. Like that sounds so bad, but don't take it as like you want to manipulate people. Do it as in the sense of you want to make people feel like you do care. Like at the end of the day, everyone I talk to, I care about. Like otherwise I wouldn't want to do paramedics. Like, so for me, like it's not fake. Whereas other people, they might fake it. Yeah. Like it is, the saying, fake it till you make it. A lot of people are about that. So it is what it is. But that's how I look at it. It's always the person, you want to try to get them to be talking and telling their story, because no one cares about it. I could tell you, the other day I went for a walk and then I walked my dog. And for me, it feels great because I'm telling you, but you probably don't give a shit. Let's be real about my dog. Well, cool. Why is he telling me about his dog? It's okay. I don't care. You know what I mean? So people, that's how I look at it. It's the best way to look at it when you talk to people. Because think about it, I ask you the question, so what do you do for work? I'm a digital, I don't know, digital marketer, whatever, if that's even a job. And then I'll ask you, so what does that entail? And then you would tell me, it entails talking to the clients and doing this. What type of clients? Like I've always got a question to follow up with. So that's why you never want to end a conversation by turning someone down in the sense of, what do you do for work? I'm an engineer. Cool. You always want to be like, so what do you engineer? And then you just build relationships through that.
Building relationships. Now that's skill, to be honest, man. The fact that you're able to kind of observe kind of the whole construct of a conversation before it even comes out of your mouth, again, is a skill which I think, a lot of people in our generation, particularly today, are lacking so much. Because they'd rather avoid understanding a human being before asking them out, or avoid deepening a friendship. Like a lot of boys, bro, can't even actually have a vulnerable interaction through each other because they're so used to kind of having dead end conversations. But being so young and having kind of that skill and that experience, how do you balance haters, families, friendships, and love life being so young? Because that's a lot to handle.
This was the first one, hater.
Yeah, I know you have haters. Everyone's gonna have haters, man. Come on,
man. Like whether they're showing themselves or not, I know at the end of the day that I know people. There's probably people out there that don't like me, and I don't know why. Whatever reason, I don't care. But if you want to, be a leader and you really want to take that next step, and like you can't want to you just can't please everyone. And I've realized that, like,
Mm.
at a very young age, which is good. Like, there's going to be people that say that, oh, you're an idiot, blah, blah, but they're just doing that because they only know you superficially. If they got the chance to talk to me, I think I would completely change their perspective of me. But people tend to jump to conclusions. That's how it is. You can't help that. People want to feel like they don't want to see other people doing better than them. And
Facts.
there's so much bullshit and toxic, you know, chemical. It's just fucked. Like the clubbing industry is so toxic, man, and it's just that's the only thing I hate about it. I love the people. I love everything about it, but how toxic relationships are in Melbourne's clubbing industry,
Mm.
and I don't know where it comes from. It's just so weird. But like, there's enough people in Melbourne for everyone to eat. Like, everyone can still pay the bills. I don't understand why everyone needs to compare dick sizes at the end of the day. That's what it is.
Mm.
It's I don't never understood that, but whatever. But that's the haters. Like, you just sort of block them out. Just keep doing you. Like I said, they're the ones that don't want to see you doing good, but they're always watching you. Like, I have people watching my story that don't even follow me, and it's like, okay, cool, no problem. Just keep watching me. I don't care. But then with family, so that's probably been the hardest thing to balance with
Mm.
who I am and all that. So, um, just to be honest, that's why I've actually enjoyed isolation, because I've got to spend time with my family. Like, before this, I was lucky to see my mum and dad, like, for 2 hours a day. Like, it was just nuts. I would leave early in the morning, do all my meetings, do what I got to do, go to the gym, and come back home when they're all in bed. It's like, geez, like, I don't even get to see them. So that's what I've enjoyed about that. And to balance for that, I've usually set aside Sunday. So Sunday, I just completely disregard all phone calls, messages till I go to bed that night, and I just spend the day with my family, because it's so important, man. Like, I'm 21 years old. Like, family's everything to me. Like, I don't know. For me, I love my family. I can't complain. You argue with them, but you argue and you get over it 2 minutes later. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just different. Like, you gotta. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. That's how I see it. So you got to prioritize what's important to you.
Yeah.
If if Elon Musk can make time to, spend time with his family, then, geez, why can't I? What makes me different? So it's all just about prioritizing and time management, man. And then when you said love life, oh, it's a big one.
Oh, he says. Tough.
Yeah, just, obviously Saturdays is, Saturdays are what they are. Um, some fun happens, I guess you could say, but right now, I don't know. I don't think unless there's someone that comes into my life that I guess is on my level. And no, I don't say that to be cocky. I say
No,
that,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, I just don't think I can pursue a relationship right now, because I'm just so focused on myself. And that comes back to what I was saying. People only care about themselves. And I'm not saying I'm very selfish and arrogant or ignorant of others around me, but like, at the end of the day, we have to set aside time for ourselves, because we're the only people that are going to be there for ourselves 100% of the time.
You're born alone, you die alone, man.
One of my mates, yeah, I could rely on him, but is he going to be there 100% of my life? Who knows? You might have an argument down the track. I've had people come and go. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. That's how I see it.
Mm.
So, take it as it is. But yeah, we'll end that question there, because if I get into some stuff, it might not be
And that's
PG.
fine, man. We can keep it PG on the channel, man. I respect that. But no, that's cool, man. Like, it's good that you're also conscious enough to know that you want to balance things. Like balancing all those areas of life: health, wealth, family, relationships, and your university at the same time. Like, that's pressure, if anything. And I know from even the brief discussion that we had when we first met, and I kind of realized that you were reasonably health conscious. What are some of the ways that you actually take care of yourself on a physical and mental and even spiritual level that you could really kind of, let the audience know about, that could help them as well?
Yeah, cool. All right. So with I go to the gym and do my training. I used to train twice a day. Used to do my cardio in the morning, then my weights at night. I just loved it. I loved the grind. I loved the feeling of going to the gym, being in that atmosphere where everyone just has a similar goal. Everyone there has a similar goal. And that's what I loved. I loved being around that atmosphere. And that's what I've found hard actually being at home is that atmosphere of not being at the gym. It just is so much the motivation for me to train here. Like I'm not motivated at home. I'm still training. It's not the same as I would if I was at the gym. So sorry, do you just want to repeat your question again?
Yeah, man, no worries. So, it was just what are some of, the things that you've been doing to kind of, take care of yourself, physical, mentally, spiritually?
Yeah. So mentally, just, I'm going out. I go out at least once a day for a half an hour walk just to clear my mind, like chuck some music on. It's my own time. That's what I do when I want to sort of just have time to think or something like that. Or I'll go talk to my mom or you know what I mean? Like there's always someone you want to have that you can talk to and be open with. That helps a lot. And yeah, just taking time to yourself. Like, man, chuck Netflix on one day if you really want to. If you need that break, take it. Like, there's no point exhausting yourself and overthinking things. If you need a break, just take it. And that's what I've found that has been valuable for me during isolation. It's just a lot of dealing with, like, obviously the back end work of the apparel company. That's it's not stressful, but dealing with suppliers is very chaotic, especially when they don't speak the best of English. So for me, it's just going out and obviously for me, when coronavirus hit, it was mentally just, can I swear? I don't know. Like,
Say what you need to say. Oh, good. Yeah, yeah.
mentally it fucked me, because I lost the gym and clubbing, which was my main income, as within a week of each other. So for me, that was like boom, like my whole life just shut down. Anything that I loved doing just all shut down within a week. So it was like that's where I really took advantage of that opportunity. And now look at it, like now I'm fine. So I mean, not that I was bad, but I was just like I was thinking like fuck, like how much worse can this get? Like, please, it spreads so quick, and I'm here thinking like it won't get this bad, and but I guess it got pretty bad, and then so yeah, just those walks helped a lot. And to be honest, I'm not really like that spiritual, if I'm honest. So I don't really do anything, but I find reading helps a lot with everything as well. Just reading at least half an hour before I sleep, it usually winds me down as well.
And what have you been reading like recently as well? Reading is definitely a massive bridge to definitely having success. So, what have you been reading recently?
Yeah, so I just finished two books actually. The first one I finished was how to make how to how to make friends and influence people. I
Oh,
think it's
How to
by
Win
Dale.
Friends, Dale
How
Carnegie?
to make friends. That's it. By
Yeah.
Dale Carnegie. That taught me so much about how to make people feel and like feel like you genuinely like are there for them. And again, that sounds like you're manipulating them, but it's not. Like you just read the book and you'll understand where I'm coming from.
It's a great
Um,
book.
it's one of the best. Like it's very slow. Don't get me wrong, but it's a really good read. Really good read. And then the other one I finished was The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki, or however I pronounce his last name. I think I just read out the motorcycle
Yeah, yeah. I
brand.
think you meant Kiyosaki, but you got close.
But yeah, Robert, the Asian dude that's on the front of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and
Yeah.
currently I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. So, yes, it's just that has helped a lot as well with just opening my mind to new things.
Awesome, man. Fantastic. Look, I remember that you said you had another meeting. So I guess one of the final couple questions that I think the audience would really like to know, just because you come across as very holistic, which is rare in the industry that you're in. And I'm sure you can attest to that. There's a lot of gimmicky people. Huh? Yeah.
For sure, this industry, I'm sure you would know as well. This industry that we're in it's not a normal one. Like it's just so toxic, and you don't come across people like people tell me like you're like the only person that genuinely cares. It's like, yeah, well, I'm not in it for the money. Like the money's good, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm there because I love seeing people having fun. Like if I'm behind the DJ and I'm just recording a video from there for the socials, it's like, geez, like these people come here because of a product we've created. It's
Mm.
one of the best feelings in the world to know that you're giving people an escape. And that's what it is. Clubbing is an escape for people, man. And that's why I don't understand why behind the scenes, the industry is just so toxic.
Mm. But the fact that you were able to stick to your core, because I think one of the best things, because I'm not that far off with you when it comes to, having, unconventional experiences during like early adolescent years. Like I was chubby when I was like 11, 12 as well. So I totally get where you're coming from, like mentally, how that like switches you and makes you feel super resilient. But it's cool to see that you were able to kind of keep your core personality over the 10 years, because look, bro, you're 21 years old, you're a co-owner of the club, you're launching new brands, apparel is looking fantastic. So for everyone that's even hearing about apparel, definitely go check out the link in the bio, because it's going to be amazing. It looks fantastic. But it's really refreshing, I guess is the best thing to say, when I can speak to people like you that are genuinely in these positions of power to actually give people excitement, energy, and escape. Because that's what being young's about, man. It's about being able to share creativity and have fun together, man. So that's dope. And I guess what's one sentence that you feel could summarize, the secret to having success at such a young age for the viewers right now?
One sentence to summarize success. Oh, that's a big one as well.
Come just a little bit closer to the screen if you can as well.
Sorry, is that better?
Perfect.
Right. Yeah, that's a big one too. Geez, one sentence summarizing how to be successful. Honestly, like, you're gonna fail a lot of things, guys, but don't give up on the first failure. Like, you look at how many times have the Mr. Olympias not won it, you know what I mean? But they continually go for it every single year without fail, and until they win it. And it's just, obviously, I don't know if you can see behind me, I've got Arnold on the wall.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that. Yeah.
So he's my biggest idol that, like, ever. Like, I met him 2 years ago, and then I got him. He actually signed that up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, last year at the Arnold's Expo. I just got so lucky. It was a funny story, actually, but I'll save that for another day. Nuts. Like, he's the morals he stands for. I've watched every documentary. I've literally read books from him. Like, everything he stands for is things that I've incorporated into my life. So for me, it's just not giving up. Like, always continue to keep going at a young age. So you also said, for success at a young age, take advantage of the fact that we live at home with our parents. They're always going to bail you out if you are that financially stricken and that bad. Like, they're going to bail you out. They're your parents. They love you. They're not going to let you sit and wither away and owe interest and all that. So take advantage of as much businesses as you can when you don't pay bills, you don't pay cleaning fees, you don't pay rent, you don't pay anything. Take advantage of it and literally use your money to try and expand a business or grow something, because that's what I've found has been my biggest help, is being able to say, like, I live at home. Like, I'm 21. I'd be stupid to leave the house, number one. And number two, I'm WOG. So my parents don't want me to leave the house. So yeah, like, that's what I've taken advantage of. And my mum and dad have always been there, yeah. And I'm not one to always ask. Like, I hate asking for money from my mum and dad. And I think I stopped when I was 18. When I actually got, like, my car and I had to pay insurances and all that. That's when I actually realized, like, I don't want to take money from mum and dad anymore. And I don't think I've taken money from them unless they ask me to go to the shops or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, other than that, like, I've always taken advantage of being able, the whole fact that I stay at home and I live under a roof that's paid for by them. They essentially, they pay for everything. Let's be honest, food paid for by them. Like, it sounds rich and it sounds bad, but I mean, I'm in a WOG household, so I can't help that. Like, they're just, if I'm sure anyone out there that's WOG understands where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just don't give up and continually use this opportunity now, even to leave isolation, having bettered yourself.
That's powerful. Look, bro, where can people find more of, your wisdom and also your ventures such as apparel that's coming up? Where can people find more about you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Philip Alexiou, Ipalexiou. As for the apparel brand, it's Realm Apparel, so RELM and then apparel. And then obviously we got CQ Saturdays, which is the nightclub. So you can find us there at CQ Saturdays on Instagram, Facebook. It's all on there. So yeah, and maybe TikTok if you're lucky.
I think I saw one of them on Instagram. I think.
Yeah, I think I've got like 26,000 followers on TikTok or something. I don't even post content. So I posted one video that got me real viral. I've got 2 videos now that are over 1 million views, I think. And I think that's just got me the followers. And I don't even post. So if I started posting, yeah, you might see me on TikTok in the future.
Now I know what to use for the cover photo of this video. Thanks, bro. Nah, look, thank you so much for your time, man. It was actually really cool just chopping it up with you and just, reconnecting after, the last time I first even met you at that event. But look, it's been a great time having you on this channel. And I know for sure the young entrepreneurs or anyone that was really listening was able to take away a fair few gems from today. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
That's all right. No problem, man. Dami, appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Enjoy your night, man.
Take care, bro. See ya.
See ya.